Hi, I'm Ariane.
Prometheus.
We're book zealots. As you can tell from the spread and probably from the title of the video, this is our Northanger Abbey afternoon tea. Welcome. You might want to pause and go get a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or a cup of hot chocolate. I am aware that in the Regency era, afternoon tea was not a thing yet. Actually, I don't even think high tea was a thing yet. The tea drinking was pretty much in the morning for breakfast and in the afternoon, in the evening after dinner, as was coffee and hot chocolate. I think hot chocolate was more rare. In any case, we're doing it anyway, whether it was in vogue or not. And I think it's funny because before we even started filming, Prometheus already had food on his plate.
Yes.
What would you tell me earlier? Enough what? And not enough eating? Too much what?
Too much thinking, not enough eating.
Too much thinking and not enough eating. So, this is actually our third? We did a Pride and Prejudice, we did an Emma, and we did Northanger Abbey. This was Northanger Abbey. Okay, so what we have are some finger sandwiches, cucumber, and I've cut them two different ways. And what I do is make the cream cheese, and if you're vegan, you can use tofutti cream cheese or whatever brand you use. We're familiar with tofutti because that's what's available for us and that's what we sometimes use. But we're going full out today. We're going full bore today. And Prometheus made the scones today. I do believe in England you say scones. And we have mock Devonshire cream. And if anybody's interested, I can put the recipes down in the description box. Just leave a comment and I'll add it. And so Prometheus made the scones and he altered it a little bit because he did not. Well, you didn't want to add the sour cream.
Yes, because you said you haven't added sour cream, and I don't remember you adding sour cream.
Yeah, I don't remember adding. So this is a different recipe than what we normally use. But have you already taken a bite?
Yes.
And we added pecans. Go ahead. Are the scones good? Scones good? Are the scones good?
It's a scone.
It's not that good? What's the matter?
It's a scone.
Okay, there's a scone recipe that I used to make that was just the best, and I don't know what happened to that recipe. I have no idea what happened to that recipe. I don't know if you've seen, I don't know, have we used this one before? Okay, so I obtained this from a Jane Austen July festival. It was in Louisville. I don't remember what year we went.
2014.
Was it 2014? Well, no, that couldn't have been right. Anyways, I still have the sticker on underneath this that says $28.50, but I bought the entire set. So there's a tray. There's a sugar container, there's a creamer container, there's a coffee container. There is a difference between a coffee and a teapot. So this is the teapot, and the one that's long and has the really long spout, that's for coffee or hot chocolate. I don't think we've ever used it though. We're really not coffee drinkers. We are hardcore tea drinkers. We buy it by the pound, and if you think I'm joking, I am not. We are hardcore, yes. And I think a pound lasts us about a month. So we have a pot a day, and if it's especially cold, sometimes we would have two.
And if it's cold and crazy, 3.
An especially bad day or what have you. Anyway, so I have the annotated versions of each of the major 6 novels by Jane Austen. At this point, as of this month, July 2023, I have officially read all 6 of Jane Austen July's major novels once. That may be shocking to you. I knew the movies, I knew of her books, I knew of Jane Austen. I had read about Jane Austen, I just hadn't read her books. So the very first book that I had read was Pride and Prejudice, and I believe, was that 2020 or 2019? They want to say 2020. Anyway, I kind of skipped over the sandwich. Sorry, let's circle back. Let's circle back to the sandwich. So we did the sour cream. We mandolin the cucumbers. I put paper towels over them so that they can dry. And then I put seasoning in the cream cheese, spread it on crustless bread. Yes, you'll need to cut the crusts off the bread. And they are delicious. And you would be amazed at how quickly you get full from just this spread. Am I right? Except you wouldn't know it watching Prometheus scarf down. Scarf down. How many have you had?
4.
4 already? I haven't even taken a bite. Okay. So Jane Austen, July. I'm not going to go into her history, but I will mention that, how many did you put in? 2 or 3? Was it? So I probably am good with 2. Probably 1. I saw you put 3 in. I wasn't sure. Go into the history of Jane Austen, but what I did learn this month about Jane Austen is that the guess of what she died from was apparently considered one thing, but now after more research, the doctors are saying it was probably something else entirely. So I don't remember what the other disease was, and I don't remember which came first, but I know Addison's disease is in there. All this to say that I read Sanditon this month, and I realized that it is unfinished. What was written was published posthumously because she passed away 4 months after the last chapter of what she had written. Parts of chapter 12. I did not like that book. I did not like anything about that book. I did not like a single character from that book. I am glad that that book was not finished. However, I wonder how much of that book she wrote because she was in pain from her disease, her illness, and then she wrote it into that book, Sanditon. So there's that. I don't recommend Sanditon to anyone. You haven't read any Jane Austen books, have you?
Nope.
I know a lot of people love Darcy from Pride and Prejudice. My opinion is in the minority. But in the book, Darcy comes across as a massive narcissist. Does he do a good deed? Yes, but was there an ulterior motive? We don't know. We don't know. But I was surprised at how different he is portrayed in movies versus the book. Yeah. So, now that I've finished, I'm going to say, and I can't rank these because I haven't read them more than once, and Jane Austen's writing is so subtle in her sarcasm and details that you would have to read them more than once. However, currently, Northanger Abbey is my favorite, and it is underrated. I laughed out loud so many times that obviously I had not in the other books. That says something. Now I had to look up, and maybe you all know, when each book was written and when each book was published, because I know they're out of order. Sorry, Ben.
You're good. I'm sorry.
I was getting conflicting information from each website I looked at. Okay. So I believe that Northanger Abbey was actually written in the late 1700s, but so Northanger Abbey was written approximately 1798, 1799, but wasn't published until 1817 or 1818. I got conflicting information, so that might be wrong. It might have been another date, another year altogether. Anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed Northanger Abbey. The major character, Catherine, I believe Morland. Catherine is so naive and views so many things through the books that she's read. Now I know that Northanger Abbey is kind of a snark off of Mysteries of Udolpho by Radcliffe. I believe it's Anne Radcliffe. I have it. I have not read it yet. What's the matter? And I kind of want to. Okay. Delicious. I don't know what other Gothic books were popular during that time period. One of the reasons why I like Northanger Abbey better is, especially compared to Emma, Henry Tilney was corrective to Catherine, but in a gentler way, wording his correction as question. So when he was trying to show Catherine the errors of her friend in Bath, he was putting it as questioning. And she did have an epiphany of her friend. She did come to the awareness that her friend was not who she thought she was. Now the reason why I like Tilney better than Knightley is because Knightley comes across more as a father figure and is harsher in his correction to Emma. That being said, Emma may have needed that harsher correction than Catherine, because Catherine was definitely a better character, dare I say. She was a gentler character. She was she was more naive, but she was, she felt younger. And I don't know if she was younger. And I realized that, so I looked up, there was some criticism of how Northanger Abbey was wrapped up, because it was quickly wrapped up. I didn't care. I liked it. I think the problem that people have is that Henry Tilney's sister Eleanor, Miss Tilney, was suddenly married, and there was no beau ever written about. Yeah, but the way that Jane Austen wrapped that up, I was fine with that. It worked. It was fine. Her character didn't need to be brought up. There was history, but we weren't aware of it. But it didn't feel like Deus Ex Machina either. So, there's that. I liked it. I thoroughly enjoyed. I don't know. It took it was slow going. I'm going to say it was slow going. And as per all of Jane Austen's books, nothing really happens. It's a day in the life of Regency wherever they happen to be. One thing I did like, another thing that I did like about Northanger Abbey though is that something happens while she's being hosted by the Tilney family and is suddenly tossed out on her ear, and she has no idea why. No servant is with her. However, I'm asking, where was her lady maid? Where was Catherine's lady maid? Okay, that being said, she does travel from the Abbey to her home by herself because the Tilneys wouldn't give her a servant to travel with her, not even to a certain location to get post, which was crazy to me anyway. And of course in Regency era that was not acceptable. She did what had to be done. She got home. She was fine. And as naive and innocent as she was able to do that. And I believe Miss Allen, who is a little empty-headed, gives her credit for that, which I liked. So, anyway, maybe we can watch the movie. I don't know how accurate the movie is, though. And it's not a modern version, because the modern versions, in my ever humble opinion, are not appropriate. Very good scones.
Wunderbar.
Okay, so one more thing before I go. Before I stop rambling about Northanger Abbey. I wish you had more input, but you didn't read any of the books or... Okay. So I will insert pictures of the progress of my Lizzie Blanket. It is done, and this is the blanket. I used the colors recommended as closely as I could get. Now each section is based on one of the Bennett sisters. So we have, you know, Jane, Elizabeth, Mary, Kitty, Lydia, and then the outside envelope border is called Darcy. So there's a Darcy A and a Darcy B because each side is different. So let me go this way. Like I said, I did use different colors, but I did try to use the colors recommended. But then I started noticing there was too much of the dark burgundy and the brown and the gold, of which I'm not a big fan of those colors. We'll just throw it. Throw it behind me. I will put all of the Lizzie Blanket information. The woman who created the pattern is Anja, and she lives in the UK. Her channel name is Ophelia Talks, and she has videos showing the pattern, how she does it, because each sister's section is a different pattern, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think I will do it again, but different colors. Maybe I'll have Prometheus pick the colors. Yeah. Oh, I wonder if we could do one for Northanger Abbey. Yeah. Seriously, Northanger Abbey is so underrated. I don't know why more people don't enjoy it. It was hilarious. Thank you very much for joining us. I think that was pretty short and sweet, but Prometheus has eaten half the tray. And do you have anything you want to share? No? Well, thank you for hanging out with me and not making me do this alone. If you have read Northanger Abbey, please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think, and I hope you had a great time. Have a great day. Bye.